In this video, I want to share with you a concept I developed called degrees of confidence and how it impacts your income and your overall influence in the marketplace. As you can see here in this graph, we have on one side degrees of confidence. Hopefully today you're going to realize that confidence is just not one level. We have multiple levels of confidence. In my perspective, also the higher you go in these degrees of confidence, the higher on the other axis here your income and influence. And hopefully today you understand how important it is for us to be aware of our confidence levels or degrees of confidence so that we can achieve the outcomes that we want. Now, I discovered this in my 21-year journey as a full-time public speaker and also a speaking presentation influence coach. Now, the first level that I noticed that some professionals out there have is this one. Doesn't happen a lot, but I've seen professionals that have phobia of speaking in front of a group or in front of a camera. They hate it, don't like it. They have a very strong, visceral, negative emotion. And obviously, when you have phobia in the context of communication here, it impacts at some level your influence in the marketplace and your income. Now, obviously, you can always find someone who had a strong phobia and figure out a way to make money and increase their influence, obviously. But overall, if you do have a very visceral negative feeling towards communication, at some level is impacting your income and the influence or impact you have in your marketplace. Now, the second level that I discovered in my journey, some people say, Roberto, I don't have phobia, no problem. I just don't like speaking. They are on this level here. And usually for that professional, back in the mind, there's some type of a limiting belief or lack of skill that causes them to not like speaking. And I always ask people, how much do you love your profession? They say, oh, I love my profession. Now, does it make sense that if you love your profession, don't you love to speaking about what you do and help people? It makes sense, but I met so many people that say, no, I love what I do. I'm really good at one-on-one. The group thing is not for me. The truth is that if they love what I do, they love the impact that they make in one person, then most likely if they communicate the message to their marketplace, their ideal clients or customers or patients, then they're going to create a bigger impact. All right? Then we have level 3. And this person, I'll put right here, this person obviously they don't have phobia. They like speaking. They say, Roberto, I'm a great teacher. I love to be in front of audiences. I love to be in front of a camera. I just don't like selling. I don't like closing. And obviously, if you feel uncomfortable selling or uncomfortable doing a call to action or closing, you are limiting your income and you are limiting your impacts that you have in your community, in your industry, 100%. Now, a lot of times, the person who likes speaking, teaching, they don't like selling, influencing, they have some type of limited belief about sales, about closing, about offering their services. Then we go to level number 4 here. Now, this professional is a little weird because this professional here, they go, man, I have no problem, no phobia. I love speaking, Roberto. I actually enjoy. I like selling. I just don't like recording videos. I have met so many of this kind of profession here. Usually has to do with someone who grew up without technology, grew up without video, grew up without having to do Zoom presentations, and now they feel like, man, I have no problem speaking to a group. I just don't like a camera because my phone or my video makes me 10 pounds heavier, or my nose is too big, or I don't like my accent. And I've seen those clients a lot. As a matter of fact, I've seen people who do workshops and talks all the time, group presentations all the time, and then you put the same person with the same message in front of a camera and they feel awkward, which happens a lot. Now, so we talk about level 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you see, at least as you go through the levels, this person here, level 4, hopefully is communicating to groups, is not afraid to speak, is not afraid to close or sell influence, is creating a bigger impact, has a bigger influence, making more money. And then the fifth level is this one, which this one is bizarre. Doesn't happen a lot, but I have had my share of coaching clients. Usually, number 5 here, this person is very successful, has been advocating to his or her community, is not afraid to sell, not afraid to close, is recording videos. Now, eventually, that person grew in his or her profession, and now another groups in the same industry or associations is inviting that person to speak. Hey, you want to speak to our next meeting? Do you want to speak to our group? And it's fascinating. This person right here, number 5, who has done probably, I don't know, 500 talks, 200 talks, 1,000 talks, had no problem. And now they feel super uncomfortable because they're presenting his or her message in front of their peers. Does not happen a lot, but I have seen many times. That's why I'm putting here. This is not like a scientific paper. This is based on my 21 experience, I realize. Right? So we have to be able not only to advocate in front of our avatars, ideal clients, but also in front of our peers. And then you have level 6. And this one, I discover after coaching top-notch presenters and educators and influencers that they have no problem with fear, they like speaking, they like closing, they're in front of a camera, they speak for the group, but I realize takes a higher level or higher degree of confidence now to someone say, you know what, I want to speak at this event, and now I'm going to reach out to that person that organized the event, or I'm going to reach out to a decision maker in a company because I believe so much on my message and my skills and my story and how I can serve that organization that I'm actually going to reach out. And a lot of people stop here because unconsciously they feel uncomfortable. They feel, man, am I worthy enough to actually speak in the event? Am I worthy enough to speak at that company? Am I worthy enough to speak that group? And a lot of times either A, they never do anything about it, or if they're too busy already, they never put someone in charge in their company, their group to prospect for speaking gigs. So I realized number 6 here, for that specific client or personal profession, it requires a higher degree of confidence on himself or herself, on the message and the skills to deliver a life-changing presentation. And then we have level 7. And this one, as you can see here, off the charts, degree of confidence right here, income and influence. And that person here is all in. Man, I'm all in. That person usually, the profile of that person operates his whole life from a sense of purpose, has a big purpose, has a big vision, likes to be advocating, is speaking, influencing, because he has a product or service that really transforms people's lives. And obviously the byproduct is more influence in the marketplace, and hopefully, if everything is right, bigger income. Right? So hopefully I inspire you today. And as you look your career and you look like, where am I, honestly? And I always tell this, speaking is not magical, speaking is not easy. As someone who has done almost 5,000 talks, not counting my videos and my virtual presentations, takes a lot of work. But personally, I feel like it's worth it because it's the way leaders and advocates use to open people's minds, inspire hearts, and change lives. Feel free to check out our next Influence for the Front as well. We have our schedule for next year. Don't speak to inform, speak to transform, and we'll talk soon.